Hello, my Zentangle friends. This is Barbara Langston, CZT. I'm a Certified Zentangle Teacher, and welcome to another session of Not Perfect Zen. I hope you're doing well. This is my last video before the Inktober videos start in just a few days. I hope you're excited about that. And I thought today that I would do something simple and fun. Before we get started, here's my contact information. You're always welcome to email me and send me your artwork. I love looking at what's been sent to me lately. And if you happen to post on social media, I ask you to use @BBL_Tangles in your post so that I get notified that you have put your tiles out there so that I can look at them. Okay. Today is going to be actually a Duotangle, but I will post it under the Monotangle playlist. This is Puff Border, and it starts out very much like the very first tile that we're going to do for Inktober. So this actually has the Ambler type pattern inside of it. It's almost a mix of Bales and Ambler, but it's really cool. All right, so no mistakes. And for our mindful moment in this tile, it just means to be present, okay? And I am going to use the 5x5 tile. It's a 5-inch. You're welcome to use any size tile that you want. I just thought it'd be fun to do it in kind of a bigger size. And I'll be using a Micron PN, which means plastic nib, a Zentangle Graphite pencil, which is just a number 2 pencil, and a blending tool known as a tortillion. And I keep this clip in there just to keep the tip pushed out. Okay. And we are going to start with the 4 corner dots. And let me move a little bit closer. If you know how to do bales, then you'll know how to get this one started. I'm going to come in a little bit because we're going to put a border on this. So our 4 corner dots, trying to get them all about the same. But if they're not, it's okay. And you could do this in ink first. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and switch to my Micron. And I'm going to go over that border. I can make a little bit of an adjustment here if needed. This is a grid pattern. Like I said, it starts out very much like bales. Okay, so now we are going to divide this in half. I rarely get mine even, and that's okay. I always have one side that's bigger than the other. See that? Always. Okay. You could always use a ruler if you want to, but it's not necessary because we're not looking for perfect. We're just looking to have fun with an easy, mindful pattern. Okay? So now we're just going to put these C curves inside each of the boxes, like the beginning of Bales. So I have worked on some of the patterns for Inktober. I will tell you that there are some that are challenging, but if you take the time to practice, and for me, if I took a little bit more time to look at the step outs, then I would do better. I have made a couple of mistakes, and that's okay. Just means that I have figured out how to do it so that I can show you how to do it. And I have really enjoyed on some of these trying different versions and doing a lot of what if I add one more thing or make it just a little bit different. That has been fun. Of course, the perfectionist in me wants me to get it perfectly right, and that doesn't happen, and that's okay. All right, so we've gone that direction, turned my tile, and adding these C curves in this other direction. So this pattern is called Puff, P-U-F, and then what I'm going to put on the outside is called Puff Border by another CZT. And then when I was looking for step outs in tanglepatterns.com, there's another pattern called Puff, but it's like P-U-F-F-F-F or something like that. But I'm not going to add that one on here. We're going to have Puff and Puff Border. And they're both very easy patterns. I've used Puff Border often. Just realized the sun's coming through here. Lower my blind a little bit. Okay, that's better. Sorry about that. Okay, so now what we do is we put this Ambler pattern inside each one of these. So this is where the mindfulness comes in. Just take your time. I do mine in a continuous line. And I try to keep them about the same distance as far as this little aura. But if it's not, it's okay. All right? That's all there is to it. So we're going to go to the next one. The magic on this one happens on the last step when we connect the corners. I still remember when my CZT taught the class for this. It was just kind of, it was fun to see the steps and how that last step changes this. And you can see that if you're doing this without me talking, it's a very easy pattern to focus on. And I'm starting each of mine in that same corner, but that doesn't really matter. You could start it in any one of the corners. You see how this one looks kind of like a rectangle. So I have some fat squares and some rectangles on here. And you can fit this into any area. It's a nice filler type grid. Hard to believe it's almost October already. My granddaughter already has a Christmas list. But the nice thing about that is if you see something on sale, you can get it ahead of time. Now see how each one of these is ending up a little bit different? It's okay. Just keep going around. If you do this, you'll already know how to do day one for Inktober. And I didn't plan it for that reason. I just found this and thought it would be a nice, easy pattern to do. Just one continuous line. Well, that one came out nice. I have always struggled with getting my grids to be equally spaced. But it's okay. I'm not trying to do perfect art. I'm just trying to enjoy drawing. And I do enjoy Zentangle so much. Okay. Hopefully it's not making you dizzy. I really enjoyed putting the gold jelly roll on black. That was fun to do. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so the next step is where everything changes. So I'm going to kind of turn this on the edge, but I'll try to make sure I keep it on the screen. We're going to go from corner to corner, okay? But we're not just going to do a straight line. We're going to go and kind of, all right, go where these corners are. And they're not necessarily going to be in a straight line. So that's why I want you to start and go to each of those little corners. All right, so let's do that again. Go into each corner. And then, isn't that cool how it starts to change? This is a fun pattern. Susan McNeill, who does the border that we're gonna do out here, has a lot of fun patterns. This one is by Carole Ohl. And she and Suzanne had a lot of patterns in the beginning years of Zentangle. Okay, so see how that one kind of comes here, and then I'm just going to switch over to this side so that I can keep them lined up. And that's where I'm saying it won't be a straight line going across, but it's still going to look good. And then when we put the shading on there, that's also going to make a difference. Oop, that one really got off. Let's see. Let's just kind of meet it this way. No mistakes. And if some of these lines are a little bit short, you can always just bring them over. Like that one. Okay. I am trying to focus. That one's definitely wiggly. But I'm going to leave it that way and we'll see how it looks. Have I gone off the screen? I did. I'm sorry. Okay. All I'm doing is connecting these. Okay, so you can see how they're kind of wobbly. And that's okay. Excuse me. All right, now I'm going to turn it. I guess to where you kind of forget where the grid was. Okay, see how that one wouldn't go straight across. I'm just going to move over here, bring it over. So you can see how mine turned out, and you can decide on yours if you want to make these corners line up a little better. But I think when we get the shading on there, it's not going to matter. Okay, so isn't that cool how now you have these little flower patterns that show up? See that? I just think that's so much fun. Okay, so for puff border, it's very similar to what you see here. And what I'm going to do for that one is I'm just going to put 2 little C curves in between where we have our grid coming across. Okay, so little bumps, ladybug shapes, however you want to call it. Okay, I'll go ahead and do that all the way around. Now you can see on that one I didn't go right into the corners, but it's okay. When I do something like this, I'm not looking for perfection. I'm just looking to relax. It was a very relaxing tile when I did this one. I really enjoyed doing that. Okay, so what she does next is in each one of these, just bring up 3 little stems with the little dots on top. And you can decide, excuse me, to add this border or not. It's definitely different next to the actual puff pattern. But I really like this border on some of my botanicals. And let's go ahead and put one here. And adding these little simple repetitive patterns to me is also very relaxing. I do not speed up my videos, so if this is going too slow, you can speed it up. If I'm going too fast, you can slow it down. Okay, what do you think so far? These look like hearts. That's kind of cool. I hadn't really noticed that before. So if you did this on a white tile, and by the way, you can do this on any size tile, or in your sketchbook. I was going to say on a white tile, you could actually make these outside edges a different color to make it look like a heart. So I might actually try that when this is finished. All right, there you go. Let's add some shading. And I am simply going to put graphite along the grid lines. So I'm putting a decent amount, and that way where some of these don't line up, you won't notice it as much. So I have my pencil nicely sharpened, and I have it almost flat. Like I said, when we start softening this, you won't see these odd areas quite as much. Okay, now the other direction. I'm trying to not put my hand on there, but I am gonna, because I have so much graphite down there, I'm gonna put something under my hand so I'm not smearing that. And even with my shading, I'm not trying to be perfect with this. Although, like I said, you could take your time and make these, the grid a little bit more square and make a difference. Okay, so now let's soften these, and I'm just gonna pull that to each side of the line, and then you can just stay in this one area if you want. Did I miss that one? Okay. And then just kind of pull it in toward the center. And one of the reasons I wanted to do this yellow tile is I thought it would have a nice highlight in the center of each one of these. Again, for this part, you are welcome to fast forward, speed it up, or just follow along with me. And if you have pastel pencils, you could do a different color. Just turn your tile to keep your hand comfortable. Remember to breathe. Remember to relax your shoulders. Remember to just have fun. Isn't that cool how it's changing? And this is where my tortillion really gets pushed down. And I also have a lot of graphite on there. I am going to clean it just a little bit with a nail file. Okay, that might help me to soften this a little easier. Sometimes when you get a pack of those tortillons or blending tools, you get an emery board, there we go, like this, that allows you to clean your tortillon. And some of these definitely have more graphite than the rest. If you have a kneaded eraser and you ever want to pick up just a little bit of that graphite, see where it's kind of dark there, you can do that. And then go back and soften it again. Okay, I'm sorry, this is taking a long time. But if you're doing this as a mindful tile, then even the shading, when you take your time, is done mindfully. Okay, I'm trying to not go too slow. I will probably come back and try to clean this up a little bit before I take my final photo. Did I miss any of it? All right, let's back out a little bit. All right, there you go. Like I said, you could come back and kind of emphasize these little heart shapes if you wanted to. I'm not going to put any graphite on this outside part just because I do like how it has made that shape there. Let's put our chop. I encourage you to put the pattern names and who deconstructed it on the back of your tile, sign it, date it, and that way when you come back and you find this tile later, you'll be able to find the step outs if you need to. And hold it at arm's length. I'm going to hold this one out. Makes a cool pattern. And I really like how the gold looks on that one. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe, share, leave comments, and show me your tiles. I'd like to see what you've done with this. Thank you so much, and I will see you soon for day 1 of Inktober. Thank you so much, my friends. Bye.